A mistaken identity? Or did they truly come face to face with the elusive creature of myth? Join us as we discuss our most unforgettable, unsettling, and utterly compelling eyewitness accounts with Bigfoot. Tonight on Newsworthy, two words and two question marks.
He's alive! Have you checked the children? Get out!
You have scoured the podcast world and finally found us, Newsworthy with Steve and Jerry, where we delve into all things mysterious, macabre, or out of this world, and decide if they are truly newsworthy. Two words and two question marks.
Hi, this is Ed Locke with USA Mortgage. Buying your first home can be overwhelming, but here are 5 tips to make the process go smoother. Number 1, find a lender, me, Ed Locke, that can answer any questions you might have and help you get pre-approved. There are multiple options available based on your situation. Number 2, work with a real estate agent you can trust. Number 3, don't rush the process. Take your time and know that the process could take some time. Number 4, consider all the costs. Number 5, get a home inspection and review it with your realtor. Keep these tips in mind, budget for yourself, and you'll be that much closer to making your dream of homeownership a reality. So reach out to me at 502-680-0953. NMLS ID 448908, DAS Acquisition Company, LLC, doing business as USA Mortgage, NMLS ID 227262. This is not a commitment to lend. Additional terms and conditions apply. USA Mortgage is an equal housing opportunity.
That's Jerry's favorite part right there, isn't it, Brett?
Our walk-up music.
You know, when I wrestled, I didn't even have music like that. It was bad. I mean, I had good music, but it wasn't nearly like that. It didn't pump you up like that. That was good
Just
stuff.
the blood flowing.
Yeah. Neither if you're going to ask what
Absolutely.
my entrance music was, rude.
What was it?
It was "I'm Coming" by Will Smith.
Oh yeah.
It was awesome. Yeah. Had a great little break for the camera or for when I come out of the curtain, and it was great. It was cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
You miss it.
Hell yeah. There's a reason, and I've said this a million times. There's a reason people wrestle till they're 70. It's freaking addictive.
Yeah.
Just hearing your you know, even locally when they learn your name and you get fans, that's so freaking addictive.
Did you ever play the heel?
No, because I wrestled mainly locally. The one time that I did get to be a bad guy, if you will, I was under a mask, so they didn't even know who it was.
Oh, gotcha.
And it was a mask that we passed around just to have an extra person wrestle that somebody would have to wrestle twice. It smelled great, by the way.
Dave did it for a little bit, didn't he?
No, he trained. He never got to do it
Okay,
out
I remember
in the
he was
wrestle.
doing that.
But life happened for him, and he went to the police force, so
Yeah.
he's much better
No,
now.
he's
than he did.
yeah. He's good.
And if it didn't hurt so much getting up the next day, I'd probably still do it. It was a lot of fun. I didn't make any money doing it. I wrestled for hot dogs basically, but hot dogs and chips and a drink and
Yeah.
of course I knew the guy, the promoter I wrestled for, and to help him because they only have so much money to pay the guys. So if I'm here and I'm doing it because I'm trying to impress my son, which is the whole reason I wrestled was because of Nick. I would rather him be able to take what little $20 or whatever he's going to give me and give it to somebody with bigger name to get bigger names in. So it was a lot of fun.
That's super cool.
Yeah. Well, I'm Steve,
I'm Brett.
And I'm Jerry.
the eldest among us. I just want to throw that out there. He
Yes,
likes
you
to,
are.
just in case he forgets.
Oh, you're talking about me?
Yeah.
See, this is what old age does for you. In case anyone missed it, last week Steve was anointed, shall we say, as the newest member of the American Association for Retired People.
I wish.
You wish.
I wish I was a retired people.
So what age? It starts at 50.
What?
That- where you can-
AARP. Yeah.
Starts at 70.
What?
I'm sorry. I know you've been
That would make
eligible for
you
a few
80.
years.
Oh,
Excuse me.
I like how Jerry waits until we actually are doing the show before his lung decides to come
Right.
up.
Yeah.
Thanks for that.
Not a problem.
So anyway, I have had, because I had broke my arm in the motorcycle accident, my yard looks a mess. But I did realize that somebody's been putting dirt in my garden.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy, but the plot thickens.
No.
You didn't hear that, did you? Jerry, as he ran off.
I heard that. All I got today is you had all week.
That was good. I like that one. I like the one you said during our Twitch session. By the way, if you're just listening to the show, if you want to listen to us live and do this, you can join us on Twitch. Every week we do the show live. If you listen starting probably next week, you're going to get the next week's show live because we're getting ready to double up and we'll be hopefully back where we should be.
Yeah.
But we do some not safe for work time before we actually get in the show. This show we try to keep PG-13 at the most, just because we know there's kids out there that listen and want to hang out and learn about Bigfoot and aliens. And he is rattling all the way in there, and we hear it. Jerry always gets the loudest candy he can possibly
We
find.
can hear the cough drop.
Yeah, all the way in there.
All the way in there.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I'm going to beat him. I can't edit that out either. That's just stuck there
Oh,
for
that's-
eternity. So if you're
It's like that,
Jerry's grandkid at some point, when he is sitting in the nursing home, even if I'm gone, please do that to him. Just put it in his ear and rattle it around. He'll bring back good memories for him when he's.
I hope they do, because I'll be fully deaf by then.
Some people just do that as like the video. What's that called?
Oh, it's so
ASMR.
stupid.
Or
Yeah,
whatever,
I don't know. It's stupid.
where they like open boxes.
I'm going to
They're
throw
like,
something at you if you don't stop. Literally.
You're opening.
Is this something I don't like?
No.
If so,
I'm
gonna
going to
be-
tie you down to a chair and make you watch Donald Trump videos the rest of your life.
That shut me up.
Thank you.
That will do it.
Guys,
So,
we got a great show tonight. First of all, let's talk about what we're doing this Saturday. We would very much like you to join us where?
The Bigfoot Festival, Red River Gorge Bigfoot Festival in Stanton, Kentucky.
We're going to be there all day Saturday. We're going to be doing interviews. If you've had an encounter, if you've seen an alien, saw a ghost, whatever the case may be, we want to talk to you. Come see us. We don't sell anything at these. We just talk to people. We introduce people. We hand out stickers. There can be some great prizes we're going to give away.
It's completely free.
Yeah, there's no cost to get in.
some big name people there.
Yeah, go ahead.
Cliff Brockman from Animal Planet's Finding Bigfoot. Remember that? He's going to be there. Another featured speaker, Dr. Jeff Meldrum,
I love
a
Jeff Meldrum.
professor of anatomy and anthropology from Idaho State University.
Yep.
He also authored the book Sasquatch Legend Meets Science. The guys from Mountain Monsters, remember that show?
I love that show.
was,
Almost cost me a whole cruise on that show.
Really? How so? Got to tell. Got to share. That's good.
Well, I was waiting for Robin to get dressed. We were getting ready to go to dinner, and the show was on the TV in the room, and I got hooked. Got hooked. I watched it. I can't tell you how many episodes I watched on while sailing in the most beautiful water on the planet. I'm in my room watching
Nice.
Mountain Monsters.
Nice. Now you know that's high quality television.
I'm
when it's
telling you,
that
so.
good.
Woo-wee.
It'd be
Yeah.
cool if we get at least one of those on the podcast.
Well, let's talk to him. Let's make it
Right,
happen.
Absolutely. And not only that, the General Lee's going to be there. He's going to be on site, as will Smokey the Bear. There's going to be a Bigfoot calling contest, the best Bigfoot tattoo contest.
Ooh, you
Hey,
got
Crypt-
that, Brett.
Oh yeah, it's on my back.
They're also going to have a best cryptid costume contest, live
Just go
music.
shirtless.
Yeah, there you go. Live music throughout the day, food trucks offering everything you can imagine. There's also going to be over 100 vendors there. They're going to be selling everything from beard oils and balms. Those are sold by the Bigfoot Refinery Beard Company.
Nice.
Everything from that to moonshine that is made by the Big Thirst Company. And what is it called, Brett? Can you pull that up for us? I had it and then I've lost it.
You talking about what's the moonshine called?
Yeah.
Smoky Mountain Squatch Shine. And so if
Where
you're
else? Go ahead.
go ahead.
Yeah, where else can you find Smoky Mountain Bigfoots or I'm sorry, Squatch
Yeah.
shine?
90 proof. So
Yeah.
it's gonna
So
work. It's gonna work for you.
going to be a lot of great stuff. We just unearthed, if you will, a classic actual Easton Hawk print we're going to give away to one lucky winner who signs up at our table
This guy's so talented.
Saturday. You will be completely blown away by this guy's talent. He's not unfortunately going to be at this particular event. He's got other things going on, but my goodness, he helped us so much at our other
Yes, he did.
other event that we did. Our first one, we were total noobs, and he
Just
helped us
happened to be
out.
next door.
Yeah,
next
just
booth to him.
great dude, and gave us some good prints to give away because ours got ruined, if you remember,
Yep.
in a huge rainstorm. So we're going to give one of those away this week. So be a lucky winner. Sign up. We have an email slot. We don't spam you. We just want your email to say, hey, we're listening to the show. That's great.
And hopefully you'll share a story with us. If
Yeah.
you do, we need some way to contact you to let you know when your encounter is going live.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're stoked.
Weather's gonna be great.
Yeah. Come on out to Stanton. If you're anywhere near in driving range of Stanton, Kentucky on Saturday, it's going to be a ton of fun. Now, Brett, are you going to unbraid your back hair for the Sasquatch lookalike contest, or are you just going to leave it?
I might
Leave it up.
just go shirtless the entire convention.
Dude,
Just show it off.
that'd be nice. That'd be nice.
I forgot to tell you guys my big news.
Oh,
Yeah.
My wife thinks I'm a stalker.
oh, is that right?
Well, she's not exactly my wife yet.
That was a good
Just
one.
saying.
That was a good one.
That was good. All
You
right,
like
props
that
to
one.
that.
Well, thank you.
Props to that. What is your other big news? We got like 2 seconds. What's your other big news you got this week? Come on.
Well,
no, the
I
big
was-
the big little news. that
oh,
you
my
got.
puppy news.
Yeah.
Got a little puppy. After cleaning up poop and pee all week long.
Yeah,
if
I was
anyone
about to
is
say, I don't know if it's
interested
good
in
news or-
rehoming this pup, just joking. I love the little thing to death, but geez, never potty trained a dog before.
Yeah. It's a
And-
lot of work unless you have a big dog who already knows what to
Yeah,
do.
I'm sure that would help a lot. Someone to show him the ropes.
Yep.
I do not have that.
And you're in a much better situation than most people
Yeah.
because
I am.
they're at work for
Right.
9-10 hours a day. So.
Coming home to like the biggest mess
Oh,
ever.
dude, the kennel. Oh my, and then they're all like
Covered in it. Yeah.
Oh, it's the worst.
I'm complaining, and my daughter has told me, rightfully so, how lucky I am. The dog has slept through the night from night one. He
Oh,
doesn't
yeah,
whine.
That's awesome.
The dog has not so far chewed on any furniture,
Perfect.
shoes. And of course, I mean, I try to, houseproof the house as much as I can, but I've been very fortunate from those respects.
Well, we're glad to have Mr. Finn in the family.
Yes, we are. Mr.
That's
Finn.
awesome. Brett, you want to start us out tonight, man?
Yeah. So
What we're tell the folks first what we're doing. In just a build up to the show in at the Red River Gorge Bigfoot Festival.
yeah. So in honor of us going to the Bigfoot Festival this Saturday, we're going to be talking about a few of our favorite Bigfoot sightings. So we're each gonna talk about a little bit about that. So just wanted to start it off. We're gonna be we have some interruptions from
Some
Jerry.
background music.
Jerry is just a walking distraction
Just the
today.
coffin, the cough drop bag, the
Did y'all miss that?
So
Steve, please stop.
Oh man, so just to start it off, I wanted to go through because I was kind of interested to see how many sightings there are per year because I gotta imagine that as Bigfoot has gotten more popular, that the sightings have increased. So the Bigfoot Field Researchers Organization, which is basically an organization that keeps a database of Bigfoot sightings, they were founded in 1995, and they maintain the most comprehensive database of Bigfoot sightings in the United States and Canada. So as of recent data, they have recorded approximately 5,500 to 6,000 credible sightings since the mid 90s, though they've received nearly 75,000 reports total. Only sightings that were vetted by their investigators, which are adult eyewitnesses and firsthand accounts, are deemed credible. So sightings have been reported in every U.S. state except for Hawaii, which has 0 reports, and likely due to its lack of native land mammals and remote island geography. So the BFRO does not provide precise annual averages, but based on their data, roughly 200 to 300 credible sightings are added yearly in the U.S. and Canada. So again, there's tons of sightings all throughout the United States and Canada. Every U.S. state except for Hawaii has got a sighting. Some of the top states, Washington is number 1 with 724 sightings. California is number 2 with 463 sightings. Florida at number 3 with 344. Then you have Ohio and Illinois with 326 and 302. So honestly, I thought Kentucky would be up there, but I guess I'd like to see where we are on that list, but because I know we had a Bigfoot festival here in Lawrenceburg a couple years
Anderson
ago.
County is one of the hotbeds in
Right.
Kentucky. Anderson County, land between the lakes.
I don't remember seeing specific numbers. There is a chart that I saw with little dots for all the
Right.
sightings. We pale in comparison to Ohio.
Yeah.
Who's number what, 4th or 5th on the list?
Right. Yeah,
So
4th.
Pacific Northwest and Ohio Illinois are the 2 big areas in the United States, and we pale compared to those areas. Number wise, I don't know.
So again, we've all picked our favorite Bigfoot sightings. My personal favorite, which I won't be talking about, is from this guy named Steve Lindsay. He was able to be lucky enough to witness a Bigfoot sighting, and of course I know him, so I think he's a pretty credible source. But we won't be talking about that one since we've covered that on the show before. But the one that I picked was it's called the Marble Mountain sighting. So in July of 2000, Jim Mills, who was a counselor leading a Christian youth group on a backpacking trip in the Marble Mountain Wilderness in California, he spotted a large bipedal creature moving along a ridge. Using a camcorder, Mills recorded nearly 7 minutes of footage, which you can see on YouTube, and he captured the figure's movements from a distance. So the video is pretty grainy, but it's one of the longest alleged Bigfoot recordings. It shows a dark, upright creature navigating some rocky terrain before disappearing. And if you watch the video, you can definitely tell it's a big creature or whatever it is. And again, you can find that on YouTube. So some arguments for its authenticity. Multiple youths in the group reportedly saw the creature as well. This just lends credibility through the collective testimony of the group. The length of the footage. So again, it was nearly 7 minutes long, which is unusual for Bigfoot sightings. It was in a remote location. The Marble Mountain Wilderness is rugged. It doesn't have a large population. And this makes it a plausible habitat for a creature such as Bigfoot to be able to hide out. The behavioral details of the creature appears to move cautiously, which is consistent of descriptions of Bigfoot. And then Mills and the group were not seeking fame or financial gain from the footage. It was just shared primarily within Bigfoot research circles rather than commercialized. So there are some arguments against it. Like I said, the footage was kind of grainy. resolution footage, which I would assume most footage from this was in 2000, so I know that the video footage or the video cameras of that time aren't as good as we have now, obviously. It could have been a human misidentification. So again, it was a bipedal creature. Yeah, Steve's shaking his head. If you look at this, it does not look like a human.
Just because if you do the size comparison of the surrounding trees,
Right.
yeah, there's just no way.
It's huge.
Even with one of the big, huge backpacks that you would use, the big metal frame backpacks,
Right.
not a chance.
Right.
This thing was moving way too easy through this terrain.
There's also no tracks, hair, or other physical traces reported from the site. So again, I thought this was really cool. Just a group of, been a youth group, not too long ago either. It's pretty recent. So that's what
Very
I've got.
cool. Very cool.
Jerry, what about you? What's your favorite Bigfoot sighting?
My favorite one, I believe, is one that I heard about last year when we were at the Hocking Hills Bigfoot Festival. For those that don't remember or didn't hear, last year Steve and I was fortunate enough to be able to go to what is proclaimed to be the largest Bigfoot festival in the world, the Hocking Hills Bigfoot Fest. Last year was in Logan, Ohio. This year they have outgrown that site and they have moved a few miles south.
We'll
It's
be
going to
there
in
too.
MacArthur, Ohio, from August 7th through the 10th of this year. And Steve just said we're going to be there again this year.
We're very blessed to be able to go back.
Absolutely. And we're going to miss being in downtown Logan where we were last time.
Lovely.
We're going to miss being adjacent. Go ahead.
You talked about the burger place.
We're getting a burger at the
I'm-
pub. That's not
The
even an option.
Shamrock Pub.
We're
Those
going.
guys,
We're going to see our friends at the Shamrock Pub and get us a burger.
not
Just
only
saying.
did they have what Steve proclaimed to be the best burger in the world, even if their food was horrible, we would love these guys because they literally saved us last year.
Yep.
We did not, first event we'd ever been to, we weren't
Idiots.
ready. We had no backup for, we were expecting to do Wi-Fi sharing from our phones to be able to get online and to use our software that required online access. There was no cell phone service, or so spotty.
It was so
there, but
slow because there were
spotty,
so many
slow
people concentrated.
that we couldn't do anything. And the Shamrock Pub literally saved us. They give us access to their Wi-Fi, and it had not been for that, we would not have been able to do anything. We would have stood and talked to people and done more interviews. Just really nice people, and on
Yeah.
top of that, the best burger Steve's ever had.
Literally, I've ever had. And I've eaten burgers all over our country, and it's by far the best. By far, not even
So-
close.
We will be stopping back by the Shamrock Pub.
Absolutely.
Now, while we were there, we talked to a bunch of people. We did, I don't remember, 40, 50, 60 interviews. And that was the beginning, in case anyone has wondered, of the encounters. Now, every Monday, Steve puts up a encounters episode. That was the beginning. We did all of these interviews in Ohio and was trying to figure out how to get those out as quickly as possible. And we decided to, in addition to our regular Wednesday broadcast, to start the encounters episode. And that's was the beginning. One of the stories that we got while we were there was a couple named Brad and Ann Marie. That is my best encounters story today. It's a couple that has a farm in southeastern Indiana. Now, one day they were off-roading on some trails in a wooded area on their farm. They're on this trail, they come around a corner, and just a few feet away, there's this large creature. A large, shaggy, brown-haired creature, bipedal, standing on two legs, approximately 20 feet away from them. Now, when I say large, Anne Marie said her husband is 6'2", and this thing dwarfed him. It simply crossed the trail, went up the embankment into the woods. She said it moved gracefully. There was no jerky motions. It just, and by the way, he said the step from the trail onto the embankment, which it did with one fluid step, was approximately 4 feet. He said, in my best, youngest, most athletic days, I couldn't have made one step and done that. He said it did it just like it was taking a regular step. Uh, they still don't know what it was. They swear it was Bigfoot Sasquatch. It large, they said it had to have been over 7 feet. Animal, large, shaggy haired. That was one thing I really liked about their story. They told it like they remembered it. They come across as extremely credible.
Right.
We're going to leave you a link and you can go listen to their original episode of when I was interviewing them. You could see what you think, but they didn't come across as people who were trying to exaggerate. They didn't seem like they were intentionally trying to make it sound bigger or better. It's just, here's what we saw, here's what we experienced. That's not all. A couple months before this, they were out walking the farm. They've got a natural spring down below their house. I think if I remember right, he said 40, 50 yards away, not far from their house. They left to go down there and look for tracks. It's a large watering area. They said they've got all kinds of animals, deer, coyotes, foxes, bobcats that comes and drinks, and they love to go down with their children and figure out what some of the tracks were. While they were there, they found some footprints, some huge ones. And Marie said she has a 15-year-old son who wears a size 13 shoe, and these were much larger than his shoe. She said at least 3 to 4 inches longer than his foot. He's a size 13.
That's huge.
Brad estimated the footprints to be 16 inches long. And when I say footprints, not shoe prints, footprints, you could see each individual toe. Footprints. She took pictures of the prints. Links are also on the Encounters episode that I'll link to. They also discussed numerous times seeing some deer come flying by their house right after they heard something that sounded like trees being violently shaken.
Glad you bring trees shaking up.
Branches being ripped off. Again, they said they have had that happen numerous times. Brad also tells a story that happened about almost 20 years previous on the same property. He was born and raised on this property. When he got married, his father deeded them 40 acres and they still lived on the same property that he grew up on. When he was I think he said around 18, 19, 20 years old, he was out hunting. It was shortly before dark, and not far off, 50, 60 yards away, he saw a tree that was bending back and forth. He used the scope on his gun and was zooming in, and it was a large sapling just being bent dramatically. That wasn't what got his attention so much. It was the deep guttural sound that was coming from that area. That's exactly the way he described it, a deep guttural sound. This went on for between 5 and 10 minutes.
Feel it.
Keep in mind, this guy was born and raised on the farm. He had been hunting since he was a toddler. He was used to the woods. He said, we would go hunting many times at night. They also coon hunted. He said, we never took lights. We were used to being in the woods. He wasn't afraid of the farm. He wasn't afraid of the woods. He was scared. He admitted. He come home and he said one of the first things out of his mom and dad's mouth was, why are you home before dark? You never come home before dark. And he explained to him what happened. And he said they just laughed at him. They thought he
I know that
made
feeling.
something up. Yeah, I can tell you, I'm not for sure what these two people saw or experienced. I wasn't there. I can tell you they come across as being two very honest, credible people.
Wonderful people.
Again, I would encourage you to listen to the episode. We'll leave a link to it. And you can see what you think. That is my most favorite encounter.
That's amazing. I really enjoyed those folks. Now, you actually did the interview on that one, but I got to talk to them in the meantime, and great folks. Just
Yeah.
good people.
Yep.
So I got mine in a little more story detail because it's fun to me to do it that way. But you were talking about trees being thrown and stuff. You're going to love this story. The cold January air settled over the remote homestead near Hobini. Might want to try to say this. Honabia, Oklahoma.
Okay.
Honabia, Oklahoma. As the family sat around their dinner table. They had lived in the woods for years, accustomed to the solitude. But something this night had changed. The nights felt longer, heavier. Something was out there. It started messing with deer meat. It started with missing deer meat. The father, a seasoned hunter, kept his kills hanging in the backyard to cure. But lately, chunks had started disappearing overnight, as if something with immense strength had literally just ripped the flesh. The first thought was bears until he saw the footprints. They were too big and too human-like, goodness gracious, pressed deep into the damp earth. Then came the noises, low, guttural murmurs. How many times have we heard that when we're talking about Bigfoot?
Often.
Just beyond the tree line, almost like chattering, though no words could be made out. The children would wake up in terror, hearing distant screams echoing through the woods, a sound unlike anything human or animal. One night, as the family prepared for bed, a foul stench filled the house. Musky and overpowering, it smelled like rotting flesh. I know this smell firsthand, to be honest. The father grabbed his rifle and stepped outside. The moonlight cast eerie shadows across the property, and that's when he saw them. Dark figures, tall, broad shoulders lurking near the edge of the woods. Their glowing eyes flickered in the darkness as they shifted, watching him. Heart pounding, the father fired a shot. The crack of the rifle echoed in the valley, and a deep howl erupted from the trees, and something bolted into the woods, leaving behind a trail of blood. The attack wasn't over. In fact, it was just beginning. For several nights, the figures returned, growing bolder. They banged on the walls, rattled the windows. They even tested the doors. The mother, terrified for her children, fled with them to a nearby town, while the men of the family stayed behind, armed and ready. Days later, a group of hunters arrived, eager to investigate. They followed the trail of blood into the wilderness, only to find that it abruptly disappeared, as if whatever had been wounded simply vanished. No body, no tracks. Creatures never returned, but the mystery lingered. What were they? Were they Bigfoot, protecting their territory, or was it something more unknown? The events are now honored by the Honobia Bigfoot Festival that's held every year. One of the things that isn't in this story about this attack was there was trees from the forest 6 inches in diameter that were root bound, thrown against the side of the house.
Can you imagine the power that takes?
To rip it out of the ground
Yes.
and throw it at, we're talking 50 yards to the house. There were boulders, and what made the mother and the family flee were there were boulders that were like 50 pounds that were up on the roof that they were chucking from the woods that were hitting the roof. Boom, 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 all the time. It was a very scary attack. And it reminded me a lot of, there was a group of miners that was in Idaho or Washington or in the Pacific Northwest that ran out of their mining camp for the same thing because they had made the mistake of firing a shot, and that, for lack of a better term, pissed the Bigfoot off, and they just attacked. They just relentlessly rained this stuff down on the house. But it's a really cool story. It's one of my favorites because it's one of the very few times that Bigfoot didn't just walk away or didn't just disappear or slink away, or even most of the time when you see a Bigfoot event, he doesn't even care. He just doesn't want to be bothered. This one, very angry. This group was very angry that these people were there.
And they started attacking after the shot?
Yes.
Oh,
Until then,
makes
they were
sense.
just still in the easy food.
Right.
And that's what animals will do. They're going to take what's easy. If you got deer hanging up in your, it's the same reason that if you live in the country, you don't just put a garden out there and don't put a fence around it, because the deer are going to walk up and eat every tomato you got.
Right.
It's the same thing. I mean, realistically, you can't do that. You were inviting trouble when you just started hanging raw meat in your backyard.
Very true.
What do you think about it vanishing? Like, what do you think? How do you think it could have vanished like that?
It for me, and I'm no Bigfoot researcher, but the same group that Jerry meant, or was it you that mentioned the Bigfoot research group investigated this? This happened not in 1913. This happened in the 2000s.
Right.
So this was very recent. And that group investigated and said because the number of days and the number of witnesses that this is a legit sighting. But my honest opinion, his compatriots picked him up and carried him.
Yeah, that's kind of.
You know what I'm saying? It's the same reason we don't find bodies. I really believe that they bury their dead.
I wonder how they hide too. Like they have some sort of underground cave system that they.
I mean, you're probably right. I do believe in Bigfoot, Sasquatch, whatever you want to call it, because there's just too many reports from all over the world for too long a time period. But as you have said, time will tell, because with the number of cameras and trail cams and all that we have, either concrete, irrefutable evidence will come up sooner or later, or we just have to say, wait a minute, this thing, it's not there. Because in today's world, we have too many cameras. But also, why haven't, even if they bury their dead, why haven't we found a single bone? We find dinosaur bones that went extinct way back when. We haven't found one bone. So there are questions
maybe
involved.
we have.
Sarah thinks that maybe the answer is dimensions, that they're a dimension traveling creature. And I've
Every
heard
single
that.
one of
I've
them?
heard that. Well,
And they
the species
never die here. They always go back to their
not
home
that
to
they
die.
don't die here, that they take them back. That they
Yeah, that's pretty far fetched, I would say.
it's just it's a theory that's been floated.
Yeah, I think. We could have evidence, but maybe the government's really good at shutting it up.
The government shuts down anything that
I mean-
they don't want to know. In
Yeah.
fact, there are multiple reports, and we've covered it, that right before Mount St. Helens exploded, our government rescued at least 2 pods of Bigfoot from the
Right,
side of the
remember-
mountain.
Yeah, I remember you saying that.
I mean,
Yeah,
why? Why would you do that if it's and if this isn't like an alien species that is coming down with the technology to go from star to star? Why would you hide that? Why
Well,
would you not make
I can
that
tell you
an
why you
endangered-
hide it.
Why?
It's simple. They're afraid that it will cause mass panic.
What, Bigfoot?
Go back to your story. It was ripping 6-inch trees out of the ground and hurling them how far?
50 yards.
Can you tell me what possible defense mankind has against creatures that can do that?
Oh, but they could recruit them
if
for the
they-
bears.
If they decide to hurt us, what possible defense do we have?
Oh, I get that.
And then you turn around and say, why would we think that might
but
cause
we have
panic?
grizzly bears that are similar. I mean, they can
Oh,
do.
and when was the last time we heard of a grizzly bear tugging a 6-inch tree out of the ground and hurling it 50 yards?
Well, you're right. But
I'm not
if-
saying it's legit. I'm saying that would be the reason for
I
saying
get it,
we
but
shouldn't.
it's one of those
broadcast
things
this.
that there have to be, a large enough population for them to breed and be successful to continue propagating their species. But at the same time, wouldn't you want as a government to be like, hey, they're semi-sentient. We can't just be out here hunting them.
That's kind of what my thinking was. Like, if they're already good at hiding, yeah, if we know they exist, a lot more people are going to go hunting them.
Maybe.
They're going to get some in captivity, I'm sure. Like, I don't know, and maybe they have some that I don't know. I guess it's just there's a lot of questions that are unanswered.
The
for
one
sure.
thing that's hurting research now is the number of hoaxes and with AI and these stupid fake pictures that people are posting everywhere.
with AI, we're not going to know what's real and what's not.
But
Yeah.
even before that, that hurt the Bigfoot Sasquatch theory, because for years there were so many fakes, so many
Right.
hoaxes, so many counterfeit claims, not misidentification. That will happen. In the long run, we found out that in many cases that they were just people lying, trying to get attention, trying to make a fast buck. So, yes, we rightfully can blame AI now, but that's a recent thing. We've been able to blame people
Right.
trying to counterfeit and lie for many, many years.
and it only hurts the legit
Yes, absolutely.
the people like Cliff Barotman and the folks that are really doing research.
Yes.
They're really trying to figure out what's going on. Brett, did you have one more story for us?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's hear it.
All right. So this one is the William Rowe sighting. This happened in October of 1955. William Rowe, who was a highway worker, he was experienced in the outdoors. What? He was hiking near Mica Mountain in British Columbia when he encountered a 6 foot tall, hairy, bipedal creature with a human like face, long arms, and muscular build. So Rowe observed it for several minutes as it ate leaves, and then it eventually moved away. In 1957, he swore an affidavit detailing the encounter, describing the creature as partly human and partly animal, marking it as a pivotal early Bigfoot account. So there's some arguments for this authenticity of this account. Rowe's sworn affidavit was notarized in 1957. It provides a detailed description of the creature, the appearance and behavior. He was an experienced outdoorsman, so Rowe was familiar with local wildlife, which gives him some credibility. It reduces the likelihood that he mistook a bear or some other creature. The 1955 sighting predates the popularization of Bigfoot, so this suggests that Rowe had little cultural influence to fabricate the story. And then the creature's actions, eating leaves and moving calmly, align with later Bigfoot reports describing the creature as being shy, omnivorous. And then Rowe didn't really have any sort of motive. He didn't seek fame or profit, similar to some of these other stories that we've talked about. So, arguments against it. Rowe was alone, so there's no other witnesses, which, again, just leads you to question. Did he really see something? Was he high on mushrooms? We don't know. The affidavit was written 2 years after the event, so this raises the question: is did he remember the full account? Like, was his memory embellished in some way? And then cultural influence. While predating the Bigfoot boom, he might have been influenced by some indigenous Sasquatch legends. And then no large primate is known to inhabit North America, so obviously there's the scientific plausibility of, we don't have, like Jerry was saying, we don't have any fossils, we don't have any DNA, we don't have consistent tracks. So again, that's just another issue with pretty much every Bigfoot sighting. So again, yeah, it's just one of those things where there's so many sightings, like it just takes one to be true. And then the Bigfoots, exist. It's kind of like it's the same with aliens. It's like there's so many, and if just one of them is true, then that proves the theory. So yeah, I wish I could know more. It's crazy. It kind of
Just does the name Les Shroud mean anything to either
Yes.
one of you guys?
He was up in Logan, was he not?
No,
I thought he was.
no. I wish he was, because if he was, I'd get his own. He's the guy who does Survivor Man. He has been in every single habitat known to humans
Yes,
on the entire planet. And he is the real deal. He's not Bear Grylls. He actually goes in alone. He takes 4 or 5 cameras. If you see him walking in a shot, he's walked there, put the camera there, he's walked it 4 times to make that shot happen. He has said on numerous occasions, even though he has not physically seen Bigfoot, he has been in situations where he has heard things that someone of his ilk should know what it is, and he doesn't. In fact, in one video where he is in Alaska, I believe it is, or Saskatchewan, he is sitting there talking to the camera, and behind him, beside a rock formation, is what looks like a Bigfoot. Watching him.
wow.
And he now does Les Shroud investigates Bigfoot, where he actually goes out and it's got his curiosity peaked to the level that he is now trying actively to find and prove Bigfoot. That's amazing to me. And you were talking about, and here's the one thing I've said it, and we agree that cameras are making things very small. However, let me just point out, because we also talked about before the show that most people stay, live, and exist 50 miles within where they're born. And we forget exactly how big the United States and Canada is, just these two countries. In the United States alone, there are 4.61 million acres that is completely uninhabited, unoccupied, and untamed. That's just in the United States. In Canada, 80% of the total land is uninhabited, unclaimed, and not unclaimed, but uninhabited. There's not even roads to it. So there is plenty of opportunity in space for a large bipedal, some sort of monkey or ape or whatever, to exist without us finding evidence of it. I'm just saying, it's huge. The
Well,
expanse is huge.
It is. But for them to be able to exist without us finding any evidence ever, I disagree with that. Within the next, I don't know, 40, 50 years, if we have no evidence, it's going to be really hard to continue the argument.
No, I agree.
Not one bone, not one picture, nothing,
Right?
not one hair left on a tree. There's too many sightings. Everything you just said, all those statistics, 100% true. But when you begin to look, what was your number of sightings yearly on average?
200 to 300 verified.
200 to 300 verified per
With
year.
no proof. Right.
And in the next 40 years, we can't come up with one hair, not one good picture, no proof, not one bone, nothing. So my point is there's not enough room for that to continue with no evidence. So again, it's a matter of time. I still believe, I'm not trying to say it doesn't exist. Again, you can get this number of people to tell a very similar story over the entire world over a long period of time. Did a truck just land on their?
I don't know. It sounded loud for a
Yeah.
second. I don't know. It could be the train. It sounds like it was a very
Okay.
slow moving train.
Yeah, that was weird.
Sorry.
But yeah, that's, I mean, to me, you can't take this number of people saying something for a long period of time, very similar stories all over the world, and there not be something behind it. There's got to be something behind it.
Did you feel that pressure though from that sound?
No.
From the train, you just didn't feel that?
Feel the pressure?
Yeah, on your ears?
No.
Oh, well, never mind then.
Did you?
Oh, well, then you guys have got very insensitive ears. That's why I do the
Apparently.
production here, I guess.
I guess so.
Well, man, oh man.
So what do we think?
Yeah,
We're going
let,
to go through newsworthy.
absolutely. We got to figure this out. We didn't do that last week, so
We need to rectify that before we get through tonight. But with it, back to this one.
yeah.
Yeah. So let's talk about. Would you want to do mine first? I guess.
Yeah, we're looking at
So
you.
the Marble Mountain.
Or do we want to
sighting-
separate them? To me, it's all the same thing.
Yeah, yeah. do we
Is there a
just go
need
as
to
right?
separate it?
Yeah.
It's
I-
all Sasquatch,
I agree.
Bigfoot,
I-
Yeti.
I give thumbs up to all of it. Yeah,
So do I.
all the sightings.
There's just way too many people telling similar stories. Absolutely needs more coverage till we prove or disprove. Thumbs up, 2 thumbs up.
I feel like there's two kinds of people when it comes to Bigfoot in the world. What? Oh, the sound of
Yeah, it was back
yeah,
for a second and then left.
yeah. The two types of people who understand Bigfoot in this world: people who know, and they know, and people who want to know. I mean, that's it. So I think 2 thumbs up on all of it for sure. For sure.
Absolutely.
That was an interesting episode, but our journey isn't over yet. If you stay tuned, we have an exciting bonus story coming up after this commercial break.
Hi, this is Ed Locke with USA Mortgage. When it comes to buying a home, the process can be overwhelming and confusing. With so many options, it can be hard to know where to start. That's why it's important to work with a certified mortgage loan originator. I have the knowledge and expertise to guide you through the process and find the best mortgage option for you. I will work with you every step of the way to ensure that you are getting the best deal possible. So if you're looking to purchase or refinance, please reach out to me at 502-680-0953. So don't take on the stress of buying a home alone. Work with me and I will make your dream a reality. Trust the professionals and make your home buying experience a positive one. MLS ID 448908, DAS Acquisition Company, LLC, doing business as USA Mortgage, MLS ID 227262. This is not a commitment to lend. Additional terms and conditions apply. USA Mortgage is equal housing opportunity.
If you would like to share suggestions for future episodes, an intriguing ghost story, or simply tell us how much you love or hate us, please get in touch with us. You can reach us via email at newsworthyWithStephenJerry@gmail.com or send us a text at area code 540-709-1318.
And now, back to the story. We're going to try to read this one a little better than we did the last one. During an expedition in the San Pedro Mountains of Wyoming in June of 1934, two gold prospectors stumbled upon something astonishing and difficult to believe. Deep within a small cave, the men discovered well-preserved remains of a tiny human-like feature. Good gravy, I am not getting it tonight. To this day, the origins of the remains is considered a mystery, surrounded by legends told by Native American tribes who often spoke in their stories of the little people or tiny spirits, locally known as Nimgiria. The mummy, which is preserved in a seated position, measures only 6.5 inches tall while sitting, an estimated weight or height of 14 inches of standing, something never before seen in the world. Scientists conducted several tests on the tiny being, revealing numerous details about its physical appearance. The mummy, which was named Pedro, was found cross-legged in a seated position. It had bulging eyes, a flattened skull, and visible fingernails indicating an excellent state of preservation, thanks to a gelatinous substance that had covered its entire tiny body. The figure's nose appeared completely flat, while its teeth were intact, and the skin was brown and wrinkled, resembling that of an elderly person. Although it had small size, and it initially led to speculations that the remains belonged to a child, X-ray examinations revealed the mummy had to be an adult based on bone structure. It estimated it to be between 16 and 65 years old. That's a big range. It also had sharp teeth, and the evidence that raw meat was found in its stomach. Further tests revealed that Pedro likely had a violent death, as multiple bones were broken and its spine was damaged. His skull also showed signs of severe trauma. Unfortunately, the whereabouts of the mummy have been unknown since 1950. A man named Ivan Goodman purchased Pedro and later disappeared with the remains. Today's episode brought to you by our great sponsors, Ed Locke at USA Mortgage and Smoking Gun Jerky of Lincoln, Nebraska. Use code CRYPTID10 for a great discount. And Jerry, if you can't see the light,
Be the light.